the only advantage I had over other people that would be starting out, fresh is I had already mastered the art and science of influence. I knew exactly what to say, when to say it, how to say it, figured out a way to figure out how people are thinking, how people are processing information. So what did I do on day number one? Day number one, I started prospecting at 8 a.m. and I prospected all the way to 7 p.m. So I did
Yeah.
more prospecting in one day than most people do in a quarter. And that day, I landed my first listing appointment, of which the next evening I went on that appointment, and that was my first listing taken.
Hi, I'm Noelle with Today's Brew, where top producing real estate agents share their tips and tricks on taking more listings, making more money, and having fun doing it. On today's episode, we welcome Chadi Bazzi. How are you, Chadi?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be here talking to this beautiful community.
Thank you so much. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, when you got into the business and when you decided to transform over into coaching?
Got it. So, Noel, I've been in the industry now, directly and indirectly, for I'd say almost 30 years. Started off as a real estate agent in, Dearborn, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit. Did pretty good pretty quickly in that marketplace. Biggest challenge was very small commission checks. This guy wanted to make $100,000 a year, and it was like selling over 100 homes, et cetera, kind of thing. And yeah, in 1999, I made the move to California, and I've never been to California before. And when I moved to California, before I got back into real estate here, I went to work for a gentleman by the name of Mike Ferry, and that's where I got, like, basically my real college degree was generated there. Went back into real estate in 2004, in a marketplace to where I really knew no one that didn't have a real estate license or was entitled or mortgage or anything like that, and was able to put together over $100,000 worth of commissions in my first 30 days. Took my first listing in the first 24 hours by just picking up the phone and making phone calls. So did pretty good pretty quickly there. And then I went on to coach for Tom Ferry's company at that time and did a lot of work with him. So I was underneath those umbrellas for approximately 11 years before I launched Top Listing Agent, our company, to train agents from all over the country on how to become top listing agents.
Well, you're definitely well versed in the area and an expert to go to. You're doing $100,000 in your first 30 days when you started that back in '04. So let's find out how you did it. What did
Yeah.
you change? What did you do differently?
Well, the only advantage I had over other people that would be starting out, fresh, is I was already in a circle of people that were striving to go to the next level. So our conversations weren't about like the setbacks and the challenges. It was always about opportunities and next level, thinking and next level actions and all that good stuff. So I had the right mindset. I had the right disciplines, but I also had something that a lot of people do not have in the real estate industry when they get into the real estate industry. I had mastered the art and science of influence. I knew exactly what to say, when to say it, how to say it, figured out a way to figure out how people are thinking, how people are processing information. So I was always having the right conversation at the right time with the right person. And it just made everything very simple and easy for me to set appointments. So what did I do on day number one? Day number one, I started prospecting at 8 a.m. and I prospected all the way to 7 p.m. So I did more prospecting in one day. I mean, what else did I have to do? I had absolutely nothing to do. So I did
Yeah.
more prospecting in one day than most people do in a quarter. And that day, I landed my first listing appointment, of which the next evening I went on that appointment, and that was my first listing taken.
Well, you're going to make some people jealous, but but you earned it. 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. Yes, that's unheard of. It's hard enough to get agents, myself included, to do 3 hours a day as consistently as we are supposed to. So the power of influence is what you were saying, and you're as a newer agent, a lot of people don't have that. How did you get that? How were you able to speak to people the way that you are?
Well, what I did is I actually put myself through very intensive trainings to where, I went beyond just the scripts and the dialogues. I mean, that's a great foundation for people to begin with. But I started to learn the psychology behind the questions and why we get the responses that we are getting, and why do we ask questions and people give us an answer that has nothing to do with the question that we just asked, and why do we just move on to the next question when we needed the answer prior to that we never did. So I pulled myself through, learning NLP. Obviously, I mastered the sales foundation before that, and then I went through a very intensive 18 months of NLP training, to where each and every single day for the first 12 months, I was writing 15 sentences a day. And then for the last 6 months, I was writing 10 sentences a day. But the way that these sentences were written was in a way of like thinking of a strategist. Now, just what sounds good. A strategist thinks like this: if I say this, what could they possibly say? Well, they can say A or they can say B. Perfect. Okay, so if they say A, what can I say to move that conversation in the right direction? If they say B, what can I say to move it in the right direction? And you just keep on going all the way down the ladder or up the ladder to get them to the outcome that you are trying to create, as long as they are someone that wants to create the outcome.
Which starts with you being super prepared for those phone calls and speaking with people. So keeping a healthy mindset throughout these prospecting mornings or days for some people. What would you recommend people to do prior to hopping on the calls, or any affirmations that you think people should recite out loud or write down?
Yeah, I mean, you're asking the perfect question, and this is probably the most important question that you're asking me. And then where we begin when we work with our clients that come to us, like they come to us to work with them on their business, okay? And then what they find themselves working with us on immediately before we start working with them on their business is we start working with them on who is the business owner, because the business
Mhm.
owner dictates what kind of business that you have. So we're talking about like very intensive personal development, rituals and processes that you got to put yourself through every single day. So to answer your question of like how to prepare, to get on the phones with power, it's by walking yourself through a process every single day that gets you to a place of feeling good.
Mhm.
So I train our clients with the objective of our number one goal every single day is to feel good. And until you get yourself to a place of feeling good, you don't go to work. Because if you go to work, whether that's in your, bedroom office, Starbucks, it doesn't matter, and you're taking the wrong person there, how effective and productive are you going to be? You're going to be very ineffective and you're going to be very unproductive. But when you come from a place of feeling good, then guess what? You do good. These are some of the things you want to be involved in every single day to identify what works for you. One is you have to start doing some kind of like affirmations. What I want you to do is I want you to answer this question: what are some of the things that I don't believe to be true about me, that if I actually believe to be true about me, I would be able to take my life and business to the next level? Well, I don't believe that I'm a great salesperson. I don't believe that I know enough. I don't believe that I am good enough, etc. So you take those and you turn them into positive affirmations, and then you got to brainwash yourself with those affirmations every single day. And what you are going to encounter is you're going to encounter the emotion and the voice in the back of your head that says, no, you're not a great salesperson. Who you lying to? And in that moment, you got to recognize that the reality is that every liar eventually believes their lies. So lie your way to success. Lie your way to believe in that which you want to believe. So affirmations is one. Another thing that you should be doing every single day is journaling. Journaling every single day. Journaling process is very simple. You can answer 5 questions. Question number 1: what is one thing that made me happy in the last 24 hours? Question number 2: what are 2 things I'm grateful for today? Number 3: hey, what are my top 3 goals? My top 3 personal goals. Question number 4: what are my top 4 affirmations? Number 5: what is my income goal for this year? And writing it down as an affirmation: I attract and earn this much money this year, etc. You're brainwashing yourself to believe all these things every single day. Another thing that you could do every single day is visualize, read your vision, read something positive, listen to something positive, watch a podcast like the podcast that we're on right now,
Yeah.
or go watch specific YouTube videos. You're responsible for how you feel. So find out what makes you feel better to get yourself to be better.
Gosh, I feel inspired already.
Yeah, right.
Seriously, that was lovely. That was wonderful. Okay, so we've mastered picking up the phone by good morning habits and making our affirmations and having a positive mindset. So we're on the phone now, and we want to get to the listing appointment. And you've already determined we're going to follow some scripts for sure. How many phone calls are your clients having to make to get a listing appointment? And what kind of
Yeah,
objections are they hearing?
yeah, very good question. So, a lot of people come to me and say, "Hey, how many people do I need to speak to in order for me to set an appointment?" It is very hard to give you a number because, like I said earlier, different people come with different experiences and different skill sets, etc. For one of my clients out of New Jersey that I work with right now, it's like literally talking to less than 10 people to get an
Oh,
appointment. Okay, which is
wow.
very unheard of in the industry.
Yeah.
Another one of my clients I was talking to last week, for her, it's 19 people that she speaks to in order for her to get an appointment. And for some people that just began to work with me, it's more like 100 contacts to an appointment. And obviously now we're going to start, increasing the skill set
Mhm.
to bring that number down. But the thing that a lot of people don't get is they are so focused on how do I handle the objection so I can get the appointment. Okay, wrong focus, wrong focus. Okay, wrong focus. Okay. And a lot of people is like, how do I get very good at setting appointments? And it's not about like learning, your scripts and dialogues for how to set appointment. What a lot of people don't get is what's more important than lead generation is lead conversion. Everything that we are doing, it's to get us into somebody's living room so we can have
Mhm.
a conversation that will result in a listing taken. So people
Mm.
get good at handling objections on how to set appointments. They get very good at setting appointments, and then they're going on, 4, 5, 6, 7 listings before they take a listing. Waste of time. Our clients are converting like literally 70, 80, and one of my clients out of Riverside, 90% of the appointments they go on. Now,
Yeah.
here's the magical formula. When you master your listing presentation, you in essence become more driven to get on
Mhm.
the phone. You become more courageous to ask the uncomfortable questions to get the appointment. You become so confident to ask for the appointment 6, 7, as many times as possible for you to get the appointment. And then all of a sudden, what you are going to discover is that the harder it is to get the appointment, the easier it is to get the listing. So it becomes a very fun and profitable game that you play.
Oh, absolutely. Going in, getting first of all, securing the appointment, and then secondly, getting in there and getting the signature and getting the listing is probably one of the best feelings for an agent. Probably a better feeling than even your commission check coming
Yeah,
through. Just, I
absolutely.
mean, right? Don't you think? Um,
Absolutely.
it's a wonderful feeling, cloud 9 for sure. So we've gotten through there, we've gotten to the listing appointment. Maybe we're a little bit before the listing appointment. How are you encouraging your agents to prep for this so that when they sit down, they're not just I don't know, let me think about it, I'll let you know. And at the end of the week, I'm going to interview other agents because more times than not, you might not ever see them again. So, what do we do to secure it on the listing appointment and not the
Very,
call?
very, yeah, very, very good question. And once you master what happens before you go on the appointment is what will increase your odds. Like that's what will get you to converting 80, 90% of the appointments that you go on. So besides saying, hey, you need to know everything you can about the seller, you need to know everything you can about the home, you need to know everything you can about the neighborhood, and you gotta like, come up with a very good CMA, and you got to like pump yourself up on the way over there by doing a visualization or whatever, is going to, energetically get you into the door feeling good. It's the questions that you're asking the sellers prior to during your pre-qualification. So one of the questions is the following, and the following question is, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, tell me specifically what is it that you are looking for in a real estate professional like me? What is it that you are looking for in a real estate professional like me? See, there's two things happening here. Number one, I'm telling you to like me. Okay. And I'm planting that thought in your mind that you're
Yeah.
going to like me. But now what we're discovering is the 2 or 3 things that they are looking for in a real estate professional. Therefore, it is your job to become the 2 or 3 things that they are looking for in a real estate professional. This way, everything that they were looking for is everything that showed up. Therefore, they don't
Mhm.
need to interview another agent. And if the objection did come up of like, we still want to interview another agent, you can go back and say, when we were on the phone prior to me coming here, you said you were looking for A, B, and C. Let's just make sure that, A, B, and C showed up today. Okay. And it's your
Mhm.
job to make sure that you demonstrated that. And that will totally wipe out that objection. And that will totally prepare you to tailor a presentation, not a canned listing presentation, tailor a presentation that fits them in the way that they wanted to experience that presentation, and it becomes easy peasy. Now, we can take this a step further. Now, when
Mhm.
you get to the listing appointment, there's something that we talk about called assumptive language patterns, something that a lot of people don't do. So, throughout the whole entire presentation, from the moment you walk into the door till the moment that you get to the signature, you got to transfer the energy and plant the expectation through the suggestive language patterns that you are using, that we're already a team and we are going to be working with each other. An example would be as you are touring the property in the beginning, which is a great place for you to work on building trust and great rapport, is maybe asking a question along the line of like, hey, Noel, nobody knows this home better than you do. What do you feel are some of the things that I need to highlight in my marketing when we list your home this evening? Like, I'm already speaking as if we're going to list your home this evening, and now I'm engaging you as a team member. You're telling me what to include in my marketing. And maybe 2, 3 minutes later, when we sit down, I get to say something along the line of like, Noel, as the agent that you have chosen to represent you, what I did is I created what's called a comparative market analysis, et cetera, and then I walk you through that. So throughout the whole entire dialogue of me being there for 20, 30, 40 minutes, I'm talking about all the things that we are going to be doing together as we transact to get you the outcome that you are wanting.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Let's ask you one more thing about this. So, do you encourage your clients to use a lead generation software company like Espresso Agent and make phone calls every day when they're prospecting?
100%. Do not waste your time trying to pull up numbers yourself and all that good stuff. I think Espresso Agent is a great tool. That way it's easy peasy. You wake up, you don't got to do research, you don't got to do anything. You just fire it up and you're ready to go. So that right there is going to, create more efficiencies. Now, one of the reasons that I love Espresso Agent over the majority of the other places out there isn't just because of what the platform looks like. It's because the
Mhm.
quality of the data. So you get a higher pickup rate. So you're speaking to more people in less time.
What else can we ask for?
And
Well, how can we reach you? Give us a little bit of your social media presence and phone numbers, email addresses, so we can send some candidates your way.
yeah, so just anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Chadi Bazzi, or you can just go to takemorelistings.com. If you want to take more listings, then you go to takemorelistings.com, and that would be a great place for you to begin.
That'd be a good place to start. Well, I love it. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.